But understand this, life is hard. No matter who you are, there are bumps and hits and bruises along the way. And my advice is to prepare yourself. That success and achievement come from overcoming adversity.
I wanted to ask you, what do you feel is the hardest thing you've had to do in order to be who you are today?
I think continuing to have the belief in myself.
And what is success? Success is being able to achieve your end result. Most people will never live successful lives because they never have decided a port of destination. They don't know where they're going. They don't have an end goal. They're just like running around. They don't know. Well, you're making money, why?
Extreme ownership is, this went wrong, this failed, didn't accomplish this, and it's not the fault of my boss, it's not the fault of my girlfriend, it's not the fault of my parents, it's not the fault of the weather, it's my fault. And I'm gonna take ownership of it, and I'm gonna fix it.
Resistance is gonna come if you have any ambition. Resistance is gonna come.
I think the easiest thing in life is to give up on whatever you're focused on or whatever you're hopeful for. The hardest thing is to keep going, but we have to continue to hold on. And I would imagine for so many people out there, that is probably the most difficult thing.
Here's what I discovered that happens to you in life, that you will go through things, and while you're going through them, you can't understand why it's happening to you. But after you go through it, you get back and you look at it and you say, oh, now I understand why I needed that lesson.
My kind of theory of living for me, which is that hard work is the goal. And so it's not like work hard so that X. Because as soon as you have a so that, then the X is the thing. But if the goal is to work as hard as you possibly can, then the only real output we have is who we become along the way.
You need to work on yourself. If you just try to be pampered, and if you're trying to be soft, and if you're trying to be the victim and all stuff, you're not gonna go anywhere. We need to get stronger. We need to get ballsier. We need to get tougher. We need to not be afraid of failure. We got to go into the work. We got to face adversity. Adversity breeds character. It's strength and fighting and resistance. It does not only make the muscle grow, but it makes also your head grow, makes you a stronger person. We have to be willing to go through hardship, through suffering, through pain, through crying periods. All of that stuff, don't shy away from any of that because it just makes you stronger.
Yeah, you shoot for an A and make a C. It's rather better than shooting for a C and making an F. Now, so go for perfection. Reality always comes in under it. But in that moment, when you see the inevitable reality, the outcome, the result, how quickly can we go, okay, but I got so much more out of it. The job, the person, myself, because I went for perfection. Than if I'd have just gone for, nah, dude, just pass class.
Excuses, it's the most simple way. For everything, excuses. Year by year, I scored more. Even in a bad year, I scored 25 goals. If I play in Premier League now, in the top team, I will score the same. Just consistency. If you have consistency, it's easy. Trust me.
My test is very simple. Does the sacrifice feel worth it? If the sacrifice feels worth it, because there's some higher goal you're trying to achieve, some higher purpose, not even goal, a higher purpose you're trying to achieve, then you better show up the grit and you keep going. But if it just doesn't feel worth it anymore, it doesn't feel like I'm contributing to something bigger than myself, then it's time to move on.
Resistance is gonna come if you have any ambition. Resistance is gonna come.
That we really have a clear vision so that you know where to go, and that wherever it is, if it is to become a great auto mechanic, or if it is to become a great teacher, or politician, or a high-tech engineer, whatever it is, but have a vision, and then you go after that, and you shoot for of kids today that don't have the goal. And that's why they end up being one of the 78% that are unhappy with their jobs, and they wish they could change jobs, but then it's too late, because now you've created a family.
Well, it's very simple. I started off from a poor family with no education. And I began asking, why is it that some people are more successful than others? And I began to ask other people and to read and to study. And I spent my whole life researching the answer to that question. Why are some people more successful? And what we find is that there are specific reasons. And if you do what other successful people do, you get the same results. And if you don't, you don't. And so you can start from anywhere, any background, any nationality. But if you do what other successful people do, like physical fitness or mental fitness, you can soon get the same results.
A lot of parents, they teach us scarcity. Money doesn't grow on trees. I had one client, his father repeated over and over and over again, all rich people are liars, cheats, and thieves. How many times do parents say, oh, that's a great idea. You want to be in the NBA, or you want to be a painter, you want to be a best-selling author, you want to be a billionaire, be reasonable. Makes me think of George Bernard Shaw. He said, the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in adapting the world to himself.
No one is going to beat you at being you. One of the things I like to say is like, find what feels like play to you, but looks like work to others. So it looks like work to them, but to you it feels like play. It's not work. So you're going to outcompete them because you're doing it effortlessly. You're doing it for fun.
It's just piece by piece, and it's the consistency of the work, which I feel like a lot of parents are missing today because we're not teaching that to our kids. We tend to say like kids don't want to do the work, but in reality it's when we're failing them because we're not leading them.
Because every successful person fails over and over again. You lose time, you lose money, you take bad jobs, you make bad investments, you start businesses that don't work, or you produce products that don't sell. So I have never thought about failure. And what I learned later was that successful people don't think about failure. If you say, what were your failures? They do not have an answer for you because they can't think of having a failure. But successful people have learning experiences.
What started happening is as you get bigger, as you get more successful, you open the door for people to critique every fucking thing you do. And most of the people who are critiquing you usually aren't where you are.
If you avoid those things that are hard, if you don't accept that challenge, if you don't step up and step into that cold water, and you sit on your couch and eat Doritos, I can tell you this is not a good move. This is not a good move. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just get up, move towards that challenge, whatever that challenge is. Move towards that challenge and go attack it. And you may be successful and you may not be successful, but you will be better. And the next challenge, you're gonna be more prepared for. And the next challenge after that, you're gonna be even more prepared for. And you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and then you're gonna win.
If I had to summarize how to be successful in life in 2 words, I would just say productize yourself. That's it. Just figure out what it is that you naturally do that the world might want, that you can scale up and turn into a product,